Howie Roseman is taking over the dreams of every Eagles fan with a move that could completely change the future of Philadelphia's offense, my friend. Less than 2 weeks away from the 2026 draft, a top-tier source has pointed to a name that could be the next great Eagles receiver. And the story behind this prospect is going to blow your mind. We're talking about a wide receiver who was called essentially uncoverable in the red zone, who clawed his way to the top of the draft after a journey filled with obstacles, and who Howie Roseman might be willing to trade up in the first round to go get. But before I break it all down, if you're a die-hard Eagles fan and you want to stay ahead of everything happening before, during, and after the draft, hit that like button right now and subscribe to the channel, because the next few days are going to be wild and you don't want to miss a single update. Let's get into it. The Eagles arrive at the 2026 draft with the future of their wide receiver room up in the air. A.J. Brown, the team's WR1, a 3-time Pro Bowler, one of the best receivers in the NFL over the last several years, has been at the center of trade rumors for months. Reports from ESPN, NFL.com, and Fox Sports confirmed that the Eagles have had conversations with multiple teams about a possible deal involving Brown. Nick Sirianni recently said nothing's changed, AJ's an Eagle. But the behind-the-scenes chatter tells a different story, and Howie Roseman, famous for always thinking 2 steps ahead, appears to be preparing for any scenario. That's where the name ESPN dropped this week comes in. Jordan Reid, ESPN's draft reporter, pointed to the Eagles as a team that could get aggressive and trade up in the first round to land a specific receiver. And the name he mentioned is Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State, ranked by Mel Kiper Jr. as the #1 receiver and the 7th best overall prospect in the 2026 NFL draft class. According to Reid, Tyson could still be on the board somewhere in the 17 to 20 range, which would make a trade up by the Eagles a very viable strategy. And Roseman, in Reid's own words, is notorious for drafting replacements for veterans a year in advance. The message between the lines is crystal clear. The Eagles may be hunting for the future of their offense, with or without A.J. Brown. But who is Jordan Tyson? And why does Mel Kiper have him in the top 10 overall? The story of this athlete is one of pure resilience, my friend. Tyson started his journey at Colorado, where in his very first season as a freshman he was already making noise. He became the first true freshman in program history to record a receiving touchdown in a season opener. But a serious knee injury in November of 2022 derailed his rise before it even got started. After recovering, he transferred to Arizona State, where he became the player the entire NFL is watching. In the 2024 season, Tyson simply exploded. 75 receptions for 1,101 yards and 10 touchdowns. Numbers that earned him a third-team Associated Press All-America nod and the Big 12 Offensive Newcomer of the Year award. Over a sizzling 6-game stretch in the back half of the season, he piled up 732 yards and 6 touchdowns on 50 catches, averaging 104 yards per game. In a road win at Kansas State, he torched the Wildcats for 176 yards and 2 touchdowns on 12 receptions, the biggest receiving performance by a Sun Devil since Brandon Ayuk did the same in 2019. But a broken collarbone in the final regular season game took him out of the Big 12 championship and the college. In 2025, it was the hamstring. He played just 9 games, but still posted 61 receptions for 711 yards and 8 touchdowns. Solid numbers for someone playing less than a full season. Even with the physical limitations, he finished as his team's leader in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. Across his entire college career, he racked up 158 receptions for 2,282 yards and 22 touchdowns between Colorado and Arizona State. In December of 2025, he declared for the draft, projected as a top 10 pick by most analysts. What makes Jordan Tyson a first-round prospect? ESPN and other analysts highlight one trait you rarely see combined with everything else he brings. According to Mel Kiper Jr., he is essentially uncoverable in the red zone. Tyson stands 6'2", weighs 203 pounds, has 9 1/8-inch hands, and possesses an uncommon ability to get open even when he looks completely blanketed. He wins contested catches, uses his body to outmuscle defensive backs, and has route-running intelligence that makes you forget he's not a 4.3 burner. His 40-yard dash was clocked at 4.5 seconds, nothing that scares anyone on paper, but PFF gave him an 89.0 grade in man coverage in 2025, which means he was getting open no matter what. He's not going to beat you with pure speed. He's going to beat you with technique, positioning, and explosive burst out of his breaks. PFF's 2026 NFL Draft Guide describes Tyson as a receiver who brings his long jump explosiveness to the football field. He's effective both on the outside and in the slot, dominates intermediate routes. Com Profile, written by Lance Zierlein, says that learning from Super Bowl XL MVP Hines Ward helped unlock Tyson's production and elevated his draft stock. According to Zierlein, his ceiling is that of a WR1 in the NFL. Now, what does all of this mean for the Eagles? Let's be direct. The A.J. Brown situation is a ticking time bomb. He's under contract through 2029, with a cap hit of $23.4 million in 2026, but the dead cap in a trade before June 1st would be $43 million, a number that makes any general manager's stomach drop. After June 1st, that dead cap falls to $16.4 million. So if the Eagles want to move him, the calendar matters enormously. For now, Brown remains on the roster, but the atmosphere behind the scenes is one of uncertainty. He publicly complained about his role in the offense multiple times in 2025. He told fantasy football fans to drop him from their teams. Deshaun Jackson, a former Eagle, said that something else was going on between Brown and Jalen Hurts. Is that the vibe of a healthy locker room? Or is it a powder keg waiting for a spark? That's exactly why Howie Roseman's logic in this trade-up scenario for Jordan Tyson makes so much sense. If Brown leaves, whether now or at the end of the 2026 season, the Eagles need an answer at the position. Devonta Smith is still on the team and is an elite receiver. The roster also features Hollywood Brown on a one-year deal, Elijah Moore, and several depth pieces. But none of them are a true WR1 if A.J. Brown isn't there. Tyson would be and there's more. Jordan Reed reminded everyone that Roseman has a documented history of drafting a veteran's replacement a full year before that veteran walks out the door. Look at the pattern. When the Eagles knew they needed an elite receiver, they went and got A.J. Brown. When they needed a corner, they drafted Quinyon Mitchell before losing James Bradbury. Roseman thinks long-term while everyone else is still debating the present. If he decides to trade up and get Tyson in this draft, that wouldn't be a panic move. It would be a calculated one, exactly the kind Roseman loves to make. Of course, there are risks to consider. Jordan Tyson's injury history is genuinely concerning. Knee in 2022, collarbone in 2024, hamstring in 2025. That's 3 serious injuries across 3 college seasons. The medical staff of whichever team drafts him is going to have plenty of work to do during pre-draft evaluations. On top of that, trading up in the first round is expensive in terms of draft capital. The Eagles have 9 picks in 2026, but giving up future rounds to lock in Tyson would be a high-risk, high-reward bet. The kind of move that defines a general manager's career. Roseman has done it before.